Let's see. Okay, fantastic. Very good. So almost done. So today, um, I'm going to start um, to combine very slowly but surely with the book of structural harmony. Yeah, of Schoenberg. Yeah, at the beginning of the lessons. Yes, I gave that book. Yes, and explained that, well, at some point, to use it. Yeah, that book is just like a very brief book if you compare with the treatise of harmony. Yeah. And in today's lesson, we're going to see a little bit of revision. Yes, chapter one, not all the chapter one, just a few topics, because he talks about the difference between progression and succession, of course, and the difference between roving harmony and, well, a couple of things. Yes, that I think they're important to have this clear. And um, on top of that, I'm going to relate to some examples, nothing to do, because it is the first time I'm going to use a book that is not from Schoenberg. Oh my God. Yes, serious things. Which is from Felix Seltzer, Counterpoint in Composition. And why is that? Because, well, Seltzer uh, was a student of, well, not student of, yes, let's say a student of Heinrich Schenker. And Schenker designed a method of analysis, yes, of breaking out parts, yes, from the ornamental to the structural, yeah. And I think we have to target that because, as you know, I said I was going to add a lesson. I didn't, yes. Why? Because we will have like half of the exercise of Anna, and then I did, I saw the exercise of Georgios apart. Yeah, so actually just half of the exercise of Anna remain. But the reason I'm not going to add another lesson, but we're going to see this, is because I'm targeting, yes, the problems, let's say, that I see, not in just maybe Anna's, yes, sometimes Edie's, um, uh, some not maybe harmonic issues, but this difference between ornamental and structural. So instead of just correcting the exercise, I'm going to talk about that today. Yeah, because it's a general thing. Yeah, so we're going to use certain examples of the book. Yes, although in Counterpoint we're going to use this one. Yes, amazing book. Counterpoint Composition from Felix Sasser. Another amazing book. Yeah. Because you're going to have kind of an assignment from that. This is a cliffhanger. Yes, the assignment will be will be said at the end of the lesson. Yeah. So let's start. First of all, I'm going to share the screen. Okay. So let's start. First of all, this is the book of Schoenberg. Yes, but this is the other book, Structural Functions of Harmony. Yeah, this is not a treatise. In this book, as the title says, he targets, yeah, how the harmony structures the piece. Yes, and this is extremely useful for composition. Yeah, for the composers and for the non-composers like Laura, for to analyze the pieces harmonically. Yes, if you have a very long sonata, for example, let's say, yes, even a fantasy, yeah, uh, uh, harmony is key. So, chapter number one, structural functions of harmony. A trait standing alone is entirely indefinite in its harmonic meaning. It may be the tonic of one tonality or 1 degree of several others. The addition of one or more other triads can restrict its meaning to a lesser number of tonalities. A certain order promotes such a succession of chords to the function of a progression. So, very important difference. A succession is aimless. A progression aims for a definite goal. Whether such a goal may be reached depends on the continuation. It might promote this aim, it might counteract it. For example, let's keep on reading. Let's keep on reading before we have more examples. A progression has the function of establishing or contradicting a tonality. The combination of harmonies of which a progression consists depends on its purpose, whether it is establishment, modulation, transition, contrast, or reaffirmation. As you know, he's talking about here, yeah, things that we talk about during composition. Yeah. A succession, of course, may be functionless, neither expressing an unmistakable tonality nor requiring a definite continuation. Such successions are frequently used in descriptive music. So we have to be very careful. Yes, for example, these examples, Wagner, Lohengrin, the Prelude. Yeah. So in general, Wagner. Yes. Remember that in his time, yes, the aim was not actually be very reaffirming in a tonality. They were expanding. They were on the verge of breaking the system. Yeah. Then you can see the examples, yes. But basically, the descriptive music is not doesn't use functions. Yeah. For example, do you see in, let's say, in music for films, for example, Anne, yeah, and this is a question I have from another student. Yes, they know they want to compose, music for films, and they get a little confused between, oh well, but doesn't sound like Mozart. No, because we are talking about completely different things. Yes, usually descriptive music uses chords in a completely different way. Yeah, without function, without hierarchy. Yes, they don't have to express a form or a structure in time. There are no framing functions. Yes, in that kind of music. So please be aware of that. Yeah? So a succession is aimless. A progression aims for a definite goal. Yeah. Whether such a goal may be reached depends on the continuation, chord by chord by chord by chord. It might promote this aim, it might counteract it. For example, give me an example of a progression that counteracts the aim. For example, or let's start simpler. A progression that reaffirms its aim, a typical one. Yes, very good.
151.
Yes. The perfect authentic cadence. Our most beloved friend. Yes. And then the one that counteracts it, which is
The verb again?
counteracts it.
In what sense do you mean that?
It doesn't reaffirm the
half cadence?
one.
The deceptive
The
cadence.
deceptive cadence. Exactly. That's a progression that doesn't reaffirm the aim that we propose. Let's say we supposed to. I mean, the 5-1 supposed to be the tone. Supposed. Yeah. to go to the tonic, it doesn't go to another chord. Yeah? So the succession of chords may be functionless, not expressing an unmistakable tonality, nor require indefinite continuation. Yes, because we said 151, the definite continuation, if you want to reaffirm remember what the dominant means and what the dominant goes is going to the tonic. So it doesn't require a definite continuation from, for example, if you have 151. Yes, after the 5 of the dominant, well, a definite continuation to reaffirm your aim would be to put a tonic there. If you don't want to do it, yes, if you want to counteract that goal, you will have a disepticate. Yeah, very simple. Yeah, but just to understand what he wants to say. So now the harmony of popular music often consists only of a mere interchange of a tonic and a dominant. Yes, example one. Yeah. In higher forms concluded by a cadence, though a mere interchange is primitive, it still has the function of expressing a tonality. Yeah. So if you see here, even a very simple, I mean, this. What I don't understand is why this says 2/4 and there are 3 crotchets. That's, yeah, I'm still thinking about that. Oh, well. I don't know. We have an extra one. Oh well. But yes, the classical examples of waltz, yes, expresses the tonality very clearly. Yeah. You cannot get, more clearer than that. Yeah. Of course, you have another example, Schumann pianoforte, piano sonata. Example 3 here illustrates the beginning with a mere interchange 1, 4, 1, 2, and even 1, 4 of Sardinian region. Yes, so you have several examples. Yeah. Now, what he talks about that is quite interesting, and I really like the word actually that he uses, and I use it a lot. The centripetal function of progression is exerted by stopping centrifugal tendencies, by establishing a tonality through the conquest of its contradictory elements. So he's talking about something that's centripetal and centrifugal. Yeah? Anyone knows about these forces? We're talking about physics here.
Like the push in or the push out.
Yeah. Well, whatever is centripetal goes to the center. Yes, it's a force that goes within. Yes, and then centrifugal, yeah, goes out. Let's say if you put I don't know, a ball and a string, you do this. Yes, if which force do we have? Centrifugal or centripetal?
What do you do with the ball?
Ball, string. You tie the ball. Yes, and you start to swing it like this.
Up.
Yeah, it's centrifugal because you got the string. What happens with the ball? Exactly. Yeah, is the sling. Yes, the principle of the sling. Yeah, cut the string or just you don't do it anymore. Right? Yeah, you have a centrifugal. The same happens with harmony. You have centripetal forces and centrifugal. Sorry. What would be a centripetal force in harmony?
No. What is a center? Tonic.
It says, by establishing a tonality through the conquest of its contradictory elements, a centrifugal function of progression is exerted by stopping centrifugal tendencies. 151 is the most centripetal force we have. Yeah? Because it's establishing the gravitation around the tonic. Now, as composers, you have to establish that yourself. That won't happen, and that's why it's important to say a chord is aimless. A chord doesn't say anything. Again, a triad standing alone is entirely indefinite in its harmonic meaning. So, as composers, just by saying, "Oh, this is C major," put a C major there, nothing will happen. Yeah, you have to do it yourself. Yeah, you have to create that centripetal force. Or if you're analyzing, yes, if it's a plural, that you're not composing, but you're analyzing, you have to see how the composer, yes, creates that gravitation. Yes, it's a gravitational force around a chord. Yes, the chord by itself doesn't do anything. Chord is a chord, the three notes. Yeah. So that's why the first paragraph, let's say, is extremely important to understand. Yes, the addition of one or more other triads can restrict its meaning to a lesser number of tonalities. So, for example, if I put C major, F major, G major, C major, in which key am I?
Again, the chords.
C major, F major, G major, seventh, C major.
C.
C major. Clearly. If I say, well, C major, A minor, E minor, F major, A minor, C major. Would that be clear? Would that be that clear? No. Yes, I mean, because we started in C major, let's see, I mean, this is very abstract. Yes, we have to see, the composition itself, the melody, but harmonic-wise, it wouldn't be that clear. Yeah, because it doesn't promote, yes, let's say, the centripetal force. Yes. Okay. Good. More or less. Yeah. Good. If I do, for example, let's say another. If I have, for example, who is with a piano? Georgios, you have a piano. Yes. For example, if I do this, but this you can listen. Yes. Yeah. Sounds clear? Yes. 1, 4, 5, 1. That sounds clear. Okay, this is a tonic. Yeah. C major. Okay. So 1, 5, 1. So far so good. Okay. If I do this, in which key am I? You're still C. But was that I used 6 at the beginning. Now what? Yes. The 6 kind of like upbeat of the 1. And the 4 and the 6. Yes. 3. Now the 3 combined with the 5th, and then I finish. Yeah. But if I do this, for example, let's say.
cadence, not half cadence. But
It's a half cadence, yes, it's a half cadence.
I was lost, but when you played the dominant, I could tell it was a dominant.
But it was clear just by first of all I started in submedian. Yes, I started in submedian, then go to the median, then go to the subdominant. Yeah, so I tried by all means. I mean, at some point I put in the middle the tonic, and then it was actually clear that we were in C major because of the half cadence at the end. Yes. If I didn't put any half cadence there at the end, and just at the end, in retrospective, you understood they were in C major. Yeah. And a very, very, very important advice to everybody: we have to recognize the chords by listening to them. Yes, very clearly. Yes, a year, please. Yeah. I know that we're doing a lot of theory, but you just have to recognize by ear these things. Yes. And then if I do something like something even crazier, back crazy, you know.
You got the dominant, you saw the fifth, something like that.
Aha! I used augmented six. Yes, very good, very good. But I didn't finish in the I didn't start in the in the tonic. Yes, at some point I used just one. Yeah, actually it's only some mediums. Then I was model interchange. Then I wanted the plagal. Yes, so basically the subdominant. I just used at some point an augmented six to the five. Yes, so you see that those are the centripetal and the centrifugal tendencies. Yes, yeah. So that is what we have to be very, very clear when we're doing harmony. Yes. How we're going to establish it on it, which are we going to use, which are the devices that we know. Yeah. For example, dominant tone, clear. Yes, crystal clear. Tonic tone. Yeah, that is the clearest. Yeah. Now we start grading. Yes, gradient. Then we'll go and we'll put in more chords. Well, maybe some medians, and maybe the median in the middle, and then more, or a plagal sense, not ending in the, tonic dominant, but plagal. Yes, a plagal cadence for one. Modal interchange, then modal interchange. So then you start add things. Yes, I can say this because you already know it. Yeah. So that's why. Yeah. But this is how you start have like a gradient of how you're going to express this progression, these centripetal forces that either they go to a goal. I'm going to go to this goal. Yes, using which forces, which tendencies. I'm going to aim or counteract what I were proposed. Yeah. Those things I really want you to start thinking. Yes. Not just putting chords. How? Yes. That's number one. Centripetal forces. Yes, centrifugal forces. How are we going to counteract or reaffirm the goal of the progression? And never a succession unless you're composing descriptive music. Yes. That's another game. We are not studying that. Yes. That's extremely important. Yes, in the descriptive music, chords are used in another way. Yes, chords in what the harmony that we in function music. Yes, structural functions of music. Yes, that's the title. Establishes the tonality through special devices. Yes, That's how we started. Yeah. Okay. Having said that, we're going to carry on. Point number 1. Point number 2. Oops. Modulation promotes centrifugal tendencies by loosening the bonds of affirmative elements. Yes. Now, what is modulation? I know that I'm getting ahead of this, but again, as you already know what modulation is, I can say. What's modulation? A very
The tonal center.
exactly. So promotes centrifugal or centrifugal tendencies by loosening the bonds of affirmative elements. What can be an affirmative element in harmony? Again.
A cadence?
Sorry?
A perfect cadence?
A perfect cadence, yes. Exactly. If a modulation leads to another region of orthotonality, cadential progressions may establish this region. This occurs in subsections, preliminary and in contrasting additions of supporting themes, connecting passages with the purpose of coordination and subordination transitions, and in a modulatory sections of scherzo sonatas, symphonies, etc. Yes? Again, this is how we're going to start to establish the connection within the more abstract concept of harmony and why the 6/4 and the overtone series, and we're going to start connecting slowly but surely to this we call structural harmony. Yes, and this is something that will aid for your compositions or for your analysis. Yes. Roving harmony is often to be observed in modulatory sections, for example in fantasies, recitativos, etc. The difference between a modulation and roving harmony is illustrated in example 4. Evidently, in example 4, B, C, D, no succession of 3 chords can unmistakably express a region or a tonality. So, what's the difference? Modulation. Yes, you have. You have a clear progression, of course, with a definite goal. The goal is to go from this point to this point, from C to D. Yeah, I mean, lands on the dominant of D minor. Yeah. Through a lot of things, leading voices, the progression you have, you can argue from the dominant, yes. Then basically the use of augmented sixths, yes, which is very powerful, by the way. Yeah. Lands on the dominant. Now, roving, yes, you have start the same, but then, yeah, then, there's no sense of such a definite, yeah. It's not that clear. He uses more voice leading to express that, but not functions. Yes, or the C. You see that you don't have a sense of where am I going. From here, you don't have any clue of where you're going to go. Yeah. So function-wise, this one and this one, yes, they're not clear. The device that they used was basically voice leading. chromatic notes. That's roving harmony. When you don't have a function. The function is given by what? A chord that has a hierarchy, has a function within the key that is already established. For example, an augmented 6, like you said, Giorgio, so immediately I said, oh, that's an augmented 6. Yeah, that's a device that reaffirms, yes. Reference what? When you put an augmented 6 and then you put a 5, so, yes, basically it's a predominant dominant, that's the function, predominant function, and then you affirm with a dominant, that's when you have a function. A clear function that reaffirms the function. That's the succession, of course, I'm talking about. So you have to think the harmony. Yeah? Not chords one after the other one. That sounds nice and sounds beautiful. I'm not saying no. Yes? But that's roving harmony. It goes like the river. Yeah? It's not structural. You're not thinking about structure. You're not thinking about the actual hierarchy, the centripetal forces, the centrifugal forces, how to reaffirm what you have done, no, how to counteract it or yes, and if you have a definite goal. Yes, the words of the harmony exercises, they're not going to be just exercises. You're composing. Yes, and that is what, I don't know if you remember, but that's what Schoenberg says. Yes, at the beginning of the book. You are composing from the very beginning. You are creating a structure. You're not just putting chords one after the other one. Yeah? Like in succession. In succession. Yes? It's a progression, not a succession. Roving is a succession. Yeah? Clear or less? Well, this is another example. Yes? It doesn't matter which one. Yeah, observe. We have wow. That I didn't see that coming. For example. Yeah? Okay, what? I have no proof. And then exactly. It's like, oh, how would I mean? We can analyze every chord. We can find some things, but it is extremely hard unless maybe at the end, yeah, at the end, yeah. But all of this, it didn't have a very clear function. That's why it's not a progression. Progression with, yes, he uses voice leading, that for sure, yes, but not a clear function. Yeah. What is this? You're
I don't understand.
But that's why. I mean, this is the purpose of this. I mean, it's not that he's not criticizing this. This is just roving harmony, what we are not studying, yes, and function harmony, yes, and the function, yes, of this harmony creates progressions, yes. Where is it? Progression has a progression has a function of establishing or contradicting a tonality. How do we do that? Well, the combination of harmonies of which a progression consists depends on its purpose. Depends on the purpose you have, the goal. Whether it is establishment, modulation, transition, contrast, or reaffirmation. Because if you're transitioning from point A to point B in music, yes, or if you want to create a contrast, or if you want to modulate, or if you want to reaffirm your tonic, you're going to create progressions that do that. Yeah? But first you need a purpose. But yeah, not that chords. Okay, those chords. That yes, you can control the fifths and the octaves, yes, and all the voice leading, and that's fine. And all the voices will be perfect, yes, and all the chords will sound beautiful. I'm not saying no, but that won't be a progression. Maybe a succession. Yes. That's why a succession is aimless. A progression aims for a definite goal. Which goal? Well, it can be a transition, can be a contract, can be a frequency, modulation, or whatever. Yeah. I mean, whatever you need. Yeah. Now, yes, the part leading is important. When connecting chords, it is advisable that each of in everything, even rolling harmony. When connecting chords, it is advisable that each of the four voices, soprano, alto, tenor, and bass, generally used to present harmonic successions, should move no more than necessary according to large leaves avoided, and if two chords have a tone in common, it should, if possible, be held over the same voice. So they obey the law of the shortest way. Anton Bruckner taught his class at the Vienna University. And I believe that Anton Bruckner was a good musician. Yes, so should follow his advice. This is another treatment we're going to, so alto voices. Of greatest importance is the construction, and please be, attention. Alto voices, bass and soprano. Of greatest importance is the construction of the two outer voices, soprano and bass. Leaps and successions of leaps, which tradition calls unmelodic, should be avoided. Both voices need not to become melodic, but should possess as much variety as possible without violating the rules of part leading. So, in the bass, which one might rightfully call the second melody, he talks about that in the treatise as well. 6 chords, 6/4 chords, 6/5 chords, 4/3 chords, and 2 chords. All of these ones are inversions of the seventh chord that we haven't seen. You know it, yes. Okay. We're going to do this in the next chapters. Actually, the next topic. Should frequently be used in place of root positions of triads and seventh chord, but the 6/4 chord, well, not a mere passing harmony, we know that, should be reserved for the 6/4 of the cadence. Yes, because the reasons we know. Yeah. Now, we're going to skip this because it's something that we're going to see later. So, the cadence. A tonality expressed by the exclusive use of all its tones. A tonality is expressed by the exclusive use of all its tones. Remember that. A scale of parts of one and a certain order of the harmonies affirm it more definitely. That's why also 4/5/1 is quite definite, because if you put all together, all the notes, you have the scale. That one. Yes, or 2/5/1, which is the same. Yeah, 2/5/1, 4/5/1 uses all the notes. In classical and popular music, a mere interchange of 1/5 is sufficient if not contradicted by extra tonal harmonies. In most cases, for sharper definition, a cadence is added at the end of an entire piece or of its section, segments, and even smaller units, as we know. Yes? We have cadence with deceptive cadence, with perfect cadence, yes, complete, incomplete, even plagal cadence. Distinguishing a tonality from those tonalities which resemble it most is the first step towards its unmistakable establishment. C major differs from G major, the dominant, and F major subdominant by only one tone in each case, as we know, F sharp and B flat respectively. But it also has many tones and triads in common with A minor, some median E minor, mediant, and even D minor Dorian. Thus, example 24a illustrates that the first three triads admit the establishment of C major as well as G major and E minor. Similarly, in 24b, such neutral triads can be C major, A minor, and F major. And three neutral in 24c can be continued by C major and D minor. Succession of neutral triads failed to establish a succession of neutral triads failed to establish a tonality. this is in line with centrifugal and centripetal forces. Yeah. So it depends of how, yes, we have to start. This is basically in a nutshell. It depends on how we want to start, how efficiently, yes, how we want to reaffirm our tonality, the chords that we use. If we use chords that are neutral, yes, that they don't affirm like the dominant or this, some dominant tonic, yes, you will be risking, yeah, this reaffirmation if it's your goal. Yes, then you can see and play this example, yes, as much as you want. Yeah, this is the first part, yes, of the topic. The second topic, I'm talking about now the book of, yeah, I'm going to give you this material to play, to read. Yeah. Is um is this how to say the second topic, which is the structural, the difference between structural and ornament. Because again, from what I see of your works, you're not still, and I know it's hard, yes, I know it's very, very hard to get this, yes. The from what you hear, what is structure? Okay? So let me see. I'm going to start with an etude, yes, which is the Chopin etude, Opus 25, number 12. Yes, which is very yeah. If you listen to it, yeah, it's very difficult. Yes, and let me see. Let me share. I'm going to listen to it very briefly. Okay. So we're going to listen, and I'm going to play what is structural. Okay. So. After that, yeah. Now, what is structural again? What is structural and what is ornamental? This is what we just heard, of course. Yes. Now, this is what is actually structural. Yes. You can recognize it, right? Now, that is basically a harmonic exercise. Okay? Now, after which, yes, so first of all, Chopin created a structure, yes, that could contain, what we just heard, the ornamental. But that is for, yes, for the amusement of the listener. Okay? Now, the reason why it doesn't go, bonkers, yes, is because he designed this. So, he is working on safe ground. So you might think, oh my God, he's crazy. He goes all over the keyboard. No, he's doing this. Yes. Now we as musicians, we cannot get confused. Yes, as what is actually happening. Because what is actually happening is we play on the safe ground. We give the impression that we're crazy. We are not crazy. We shouldn't be. Yeah. So this is the safest ground. That's why harmony is so important. Because it will give you the structure to work upon. Do you see the difference? Yeah. I mean, you could listen, right? Very prominently, no? Very easily from the, well, I hope, from the tune to the chords. That means that the structure was, remember the what in counterpoint we talked about. The what, yeah, structure is expressed beautifully. That's that's the how. What and the how. The structure and its expression. This is the structure, this is the expression. Don't get confused, please. Now the second example is the Beethoven Piano Sonata. Yes, Georgios.
A small question about the thing. If can you back to the
Oops, sorry.
structure?
Yes.
Yes. I assume that N means neighboring note,
Yeah.
but the IN.
The thing is, this we're going to see this, Georgios. The thing is, the Schenkerian analysis, okay, has all the symbols, okay, that we're going to learn, okay, but I cannot go on. I mean, this 10, this and everything, yes, neighboring note is true, yes. Incomplete neighboring is IN, okay. Then yeah. But then you have these prolongational, yes, because we call prolongational melodic prolongation. Yes, you have lots of things, okay, lots of things, lots of symbols, okay. So that's one. Yeah. Beethoven Piano Sonata Opus 31, number 1, second movement. Let's listen. 1 second. There because it's there. So you have the, I mean, the structural notes, yeah, accord. That you know now there's a sentence, of course. Just statement response. There you go. And then if you want to do it even more structural, you have that. Those are the structural notes. Okay, you don't have chords, I know, but that is what gives the aim, let's say, yeah, to the composition. Yeah. How do you do it? You want to come, and you're going to start from here, and you're going to end up here. How are you going to do that? Well, this. And then on top of that, you have the ornamental. Yes, the structure, the staccato, the trill, the chromatic notes, how beautiful. That is ornamental. Yes, not structural. Because if the expression is not sustained with the structure, it doesn't go well. The reason why masterworks work is because they marry that, they reconcile the what and the how. And the harmony is extremely important for them. Harmony and counterpoint, but everything's important. But from now, please start to be a little bit aware of these things. Yes, so Beethoven, bye bye. Etude, bye bye. Yeah. Let me see. Another one. Same thing. And I'm picking examples that they're really ornamental. Johannes Brahms, yes, another amazing composer. Yes, three intermezzi, opus 117. So, wait a little bit, sorry. This is the introduction. There you go. Here is again one octave. This is the action part. And it goes across. Yeah? So, this is a Schenkerian analysis. We're not going to go through that. But this part, yes. Yes? And then you have... Okay, that's structure. 1, 5, 1. Yeah? All of it. Yes? All what you see here. We're going to learn all this stuff. Yes, this is an analytical tool. Okay? In the future. Yeah? But I'm trying you to understand what is the difference between structural and ornamental. And you can even recognize this. Of course. Yeah. It's like saying a story. Okay, there was a little guy on a village that went to a quest and they returned. Okay. That's it. Now, all the stories will have like 3 pages, right? Well, that's the difference. But if you don't have the structure, yes, the ornamental just falls apart. Yeah. And then it goes. We have just more, yes, more and more and more. You have the handle chaconne, yes. And then this is a chorale. It's what you are doing, or you're supposed to. Yeah. So please don't put ornamental notes. Don't put anything. Yes, I don't want you to do this now. That's why we're going to have counterpoint. I want you to do this. Yeah. And we have more, well, the classical example of the Bach prelude in C minor. Yes. I'm not going to play it because it's so known that, well, maybe. Do you know that everyone knows this? Yes, I'm sure. This is what he, yes, thought. And also you're going to see the voicing interest content. Yeah? So, yes, before we go on this, oh, yeah, sorry, I appear again. So, because I know that the Georgios and Iris have students. So before we carry on, please, one, yes, very important thing. Please don't get confused between structural and ornamental. Please do really think about what true progression is, because we're going to start relating that to structural harmony. So the structure, how to build the structure through harmony. Yes, with both books now. Yeah. This is going to be extremely important for composition with Juan. Extremely. Yes. And you're going to have an assignment. Each one of you is going to pick, each one of you. Especially you, Georgios.
Okay.
They're going to pick one piece. Yeah, the first 16 bars. That's it. Whatever. And then you're going to do the opposite way. You're going to transform it into a chorale, as we saw. That's it.
Easy.
Yes, nothing else. So you're going to, and when I say choose a piece, yes, if anyone comes with Anton Weber, Armand Berg, yes, or things like that, not nice. Not atonal music, yes, or anything else, yes, or even Bartok, I don't know, something tonal. Okay. Because I'm just saying, yes. Oh, yes, I brought, no. Yeah. So I don't know. Yes, something about, try to pick something about classical, it would be easier. But if you want to pick something else, I mean, even until classical romantic, yes. Even, if you see, you have Schumann, you have Brahms, you have Beethoven. I wouldn't suggest this. You're going to put yourself into a problem there. Maybe yes, but it's difficult. Mozart, Haydn, yes. Telemann, I don't know. You pick. Clementi, Coulon, yes. Pick. First 16 bars, yes. Please send me the piece first. This is the piece I chose. It's for this. It's okay. Yes, no. Yeah, go ahead.